Welcome to our YouTube channel, The Alien Tales, and please ensure that you have subscribed.
She enters my dreams every night. In the morning, she doesn't know who I am. Her kind communicates through dream walking. By day, I'm just another human specimen. By night, we share memories neither of us can escape. The fluorescent lights hummed overhead as I catalogued another batch of tissue samples. Dr. Kestra Valen moved between the specimen containers with fluid grace, her silver hair catching the sterile light. She was beautiful in an otherworldly way, too pale, too perfect, with eyes that shifted from violet to deep blue depending on the angle. Sample 847, C shows unusual cellular regeneration. She announced to the research team, her voice carrying that slight accent I couldn't place. Professional, distant, as if I were just another piece of equipment in her xenobiology lab. I'd been her research assistant for 6 months, and she'd never looked at me as anything more than competent help. My name was Tobias Reed, and to her I was invisible, just another human cataloging the mysteries her people had brought to Earth after first contact. The Oneirathi had arrived 3 years ago, offering knowledge in exchange for understanding human consciousness. They were dreamwalkers, beings who communicated through shared sleep experiences. Most humans couldn't interface with their dream speech, making Kestra's research invaluable. She passed my workstation without acknowledgement, her fingers barely brushing mine as she reached for a data pad. The brief contact sent an electric jolt through me. Familiar, though I couldn't explain why. Dr. Valen, I ventured. The neural pathway samples are ready for analysis. She nodded curtly. Leave them on my desk, Reed. Just Reed. Never Tobias. In daylight, I was nothing to her, but at night, everything changed. Sleep pulled me under like warm water, and suddenly I wasn't in my cramped apartment anymore. I stood in a crystalline garden beneath twin moons, where impossible flowers sang in harmonies that painted colors across the sky. You're here again, she said and turned. It was Kestra, but not the cold scientist from the lab. Here, her eyes blazed with warmth, her silver hair flowing like liquid starlight. She wore robes that seemed woven from dreams themselves, shifting between deep purples and midnight blues. I don't understand how this is possible, I whispered. Humans can't dreamwalk. She approached me, her bare feet silent on the crystalline ground. Yet here you are, Tobias. My name on her lips sent shivers through me. Night after night, you find your way into my dreamscape. Kestra, here I am Vale, she corrected softly. In dreams, we use our true names. Her fingers traced my face, and I could feel the connection between us. A silver thread of shared consciousness that pulsed with each heartbeat. How long have we been meeting like this? 57 nights, she said. Since the day you first touched one of my specimens and your mind opened. Her hand found mine, interlacing our fingers. In my dreams, you remember everything. Our conversations, our moments together. The garden around us responded to our emotions, flowers blooming brighter as she stepped closer. But in the morning, the human mind forgets. It has to, or it would shatter under the weight of dream memories. The dreamscape shifted, becoming a library where books wrote themselves, their pages fluttering with living words. Vale led me between towering shelves that stretched impossibly high. This is where I keep our memories, she explained, pulling a volume from the shelf. As she opened it, images spilled out like liquid light. Scenes of us talking, laughing, sharing stories of our different worlds. Show me more, I breathed. She opened another book, and I saw myself telling her about earth rain, how it felt on human skin. In the memory, she had wept at the beauty of it, and I had caught her tears, liquid starlight that turned to diamonds in my palm. Your species fascinates me, Dreamvale said, her eyes never leaving mine. Not just scientifically, you specifically. Your mind works differently than other humans. It's why you can reach me here. Is that why you study us? To understand what makes us different. I study humans because I was assigned to, she admitted. But I study you because... She hesitated, silver hair falling across her face. Because in all my centuries, no one has ever made me feel so alive. The books around us began to glow, responding to her emotional state. I reached for her hand again, marveling at how real her touch felt in this impossible place. What happens when your research is complete? I asked. When your people decide they understand humanity enough? Her grip on my hand tightened. We return to the dream realm. We leave this physical plane behind. The books slammed shut simultaneously, and I woke with a gasp. Reed, you look terrible. Late night. Dr. Valen's voice was crisp, professional, cutting through my grogginess like a scalpel. I blinked at her, fragments of silver hair and starlight fading from my memory like smoke. I didn't sleep well. She was arranging specimens with mechanical precision, her movements economical and cold. Nothing like the graceful dance I vaguely remembered from where? A dream? Well, focus. We have the consciousness mapping experiment today. She glanced at me with mild irritation. The Oneirathi Council is reviewing our progress. Something twisted in my chest. Panic, loss, longing I couldn't explain. Will you be leaving soon? Her violet eyes flickered with what might have been surprise. That's not your concern, Reed. Your job is to assist with the research, not speculate about timelines. But I caught something else in her expression. A momentary softness, quickly suppressed. As if she, too, felt the echo of something just beyond memory's reach. Of course, Dr. Valen. I apologize. She turned back to her work, but I noticed her hands trembled slightly as she adjusted the neural interface equipment. The dream mapping session begins in 20 minutes. Prepare the isolation chamber. As I worked, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was forgetting something important. Something about dreams and silver light and a name that started with V. The sensation haunted me all day, a phantom limb of memory I couldn't quite grasp. The crystalline garden had become our sanctuary. Night after night, we met here in the space between sleeping and waking, where her true self could emerge from behind the mask of scientific detachment. Tell me about your world, I said, lying beside her on grass that chimed like wind chimes in the eternal twilight. Vale's hair spread around her like spilled mercury. The Oneirathi realm exists in the spaces between thoughts, she began. We are born from dreams and return to them when we die. Physical form is limiting for us. Painful sometimes. Is that why you're so cold during the day? I have to be. Her fingers traced patterns on my chest, each touch sending ripples of warmth through me. Emotional attachment to physical beings is forbidden. It anchors us too deeply to your reality, makes it harder to return home. But you're attached to me. She was quiet for so long I thought she wouldn't answer. Finally, dangerously so, the garden responded to her words, flowers dimming as storm clouds gathered overhead. What happens if they find out? Exile. I would be cut off from the dream realm permanently, trapped in physical form until this body dies. She turned to face me, her eyes bright with unshed tears. But Tobias, sometimes I think that wouldn't be the worst fate. What would be worse? Forgetting you exist. Her voice broke. When we leave, all memory of physical realm experiences is erased. I won't remember your name, your face, or how you made me feel truly alive for the first time in centuries. The storm broke overhead, raining liquid light that tasted of salt and regret. Dr. Valen was acting strangely. She kept pausing in her work to stare at me, her expression confused and almost tender. When she thought I wasn't looking, I caught her sketching something in the margins of her research notes. Dr. Valen? I approached her workstation carefully. Is everything all right? She startled, quickly covering the sketches with her hand. Fine. Just strange dreams lately. My heart hammered. Dreams, impossible ones. She laughed shakily. I keep dreaming about. She looked at me directly for the first time in months, really seeing me. About someone who looks like you. But that's impossible. Oneirathi don't dream about specific individuals unless what? Her face went pale. Unless we're forming an unauthorized psychic bond. She stood abruptly, knocking over her chair. This can't be happening. Before I could respond, she was pulling up neural scan data on her computer, running analysis programs with frantic efficiency. The results made her hands shake. Your brain patterns, she whispered. They're showing Oneirathi resonance frequencies. But that's impossible for a human. What does that mean? She turned to me, her professional mask finally cracking. It means you're not entirely human, Tobias. My name sounded strange in her daylight voice. And it means we're in terrible danger. The lab door hissed open, and 3 figures in flowing robes entered, members of the Oneirathi Council, their faces stern and knowing. Dr. Valen. The center figure spoke in harmonics that made my bones ache. We need to talk. The council chamber existed somewhere between dream and reality, its walls shifting like aurora borealis. I sat beside Kestra Vale, as the 3 judges examined us with eyes like cosmic storms. You have violated the fundamental law, Elder Morningstar intoned. Attachment to physical beings corrupts the dreamwalker's purpose. He's not entirely physical, Vale protested, her hand finding mine. His neural patterns show hybrid characteristics. He may be descended from one of our own. Elder Nightfall leaned forward.
Impossible.
No Oneirathi has reproduced with a human. Not reproduced, said the third elder, her voice like whispered secrets. But 60 years ago, one of our scouts was injured during first contact protocols. Dr. Valen, you know the story. Vale's eyes widened. Scout Dreamweaver. He was presumed lost when his physical form was damaged beyond repair. Not lost, Elder Whisper continued. Trapped. His consciousness merged with a human woman who tried to save him. Their child carried genetic memory of both species. The truth hit me like cold water. My grandmother, I breathed. She always said she dreamed in colors that didn't exist. Your hybrid nature explains your dreamwalking ability, Elder Morningstar said. But not Dr. Valen's attachment to you. That is pure emotion, and therefore forbidden. Vale stood, her dream form blazing with defiant light. I request trial by dream sharing. Let the council experience what we have built together. Judge for yourselves whether love between species weakens or strengthens us. The elders exchanged glances. Very well, Nightfall said. But know this, if we find your attachment corrupting, both of you will face exile from all realms. We stood at the center of a vast amphitheater made of crystallized thoughts, where the memories of every dreamwalker throughout history watched our trial. The council linked their consciousness with ours, preparing to experience every moment we had shared. Show them, Vale whispered, her hand tight in mine. I opened my mind completely, letting our 57 nights together flow like a river of light. The garden where we first met, the library of memories, every conversation, every touch, every moment of wonder and discovery. The council experienced it all. How I helped her understand human creativity, how she showed me the mathematics of emotion, how we had built something neither species had achieved alone. A bridge between dream and waking, between finite and infinite. Fascinating, Elder Whisper murmured. The hybrid's consciousness doesn't diminish yours, Dr. Valen. It amplifies it. Their connection creates new neural pathways, Nightfall observed. Unprecedented cognitive expansion for both species. But Morningstar remained stern. Love is still attachment. Attachment is still weakness. Is it? Vale challenged. Or is it evolution? She gestured to the memory streams around us. Look at what we've created together. Tobias doesn't limit my abilities. He enhances them. Through our bond, I've learned to dream while awake, to bring dream logic into physical reality. As if to demonstrate, she reached into the memory stream and pulled out one of our shared dreams, manifesting it as solid light in the amphitheater. The impossible flowers began to sing, their harmonies weaving new colors into existence. The council fell silent, their cosmic eyes wide with wonder. Perhaps, Elder Whisper said slowly, it is time for our laws to evolve as well. We offer you both a choice, Elder Morningstar announced after hours of deliberation. Dr. Valen, you may return to the dream realm with your memories intact, an unprecedented mercy. But you will never see Tobias again, in dream or waking. My heart clenched. And the alternative? Stay, Nightfall said. Remain in physical form, both of you. Build your bridge between worlds. But know that this exile is permanent. You will age and die as humans do, never to rejoin the eternal dream. Vale's hand trembled in mine. I knew what she was thinking: centuries of existence, the beauty of her people's realm, the immortality of dream walking. All of it, for love of someone who would die in mere decades. There's a third option, Elder Whisper said quietly. Tobias, your hybrid nature makes you unique. We could teach you to fully dreamwalk, bring you into our realm. But the process would strip away your humanity entirely. You would become like us, eternal, but no longer truly yourself. The amphitheater fell silent except for the singing of dream flowers. Everything hung in the balance. Love versus duty, finite versus infinite, the familiar versus the unknown. I need time to think, Vale said. We will reconvene at the next dream cycle, Morningstar agreed. Choose wisely. Some decisions echo through eternity. As the council dissolved into mist, Vale turned to me, her eyes bright with tears that sparkled like captured stars. What do we do? She whispered. We choose love, I said simply. However that looks. She kissed me then, and for a moment, the entire dream realm shimmered with the force of our connection. I woke to find Kestra sitting beside my bed, her silver hair catching the dawn light streaming through my apartment window. Not Dr. Valen, not the cold scientist. Kestra, awake, aware, remembering everything. The council's decision changed the rules, she said softly. I can carry dream memories into waking now. The barrier between our worlds has thinned. What did you choose? I asked, though her presence already gave me hope. I chose you, she said simply. I chose love over law, finite over infinite. I chose to build something new rather than preserve something old. She took my hand, her touch warm and real. The other Oneirathi think I'm insane, but Elder Whisper believes we're pioneers, the first to successfully bridge the gap between species through emotional connection rather than scientific study. And your people will adapt or die out, she said with a shrug. Evolution doesn't ask permission. She leaned closer, her eyes shifting from violet to that familiar deep blue. Besides, I discovered something in our dreams together. Something I never told the council. What? Her smile was radiant. I'm not the only one. There are others like us. Dreamwalkers who've found hybrid partners, who've chosen love over law. We're not alone, Tobias. We're part of something bigger. She kissed me, and I tasted starlight and possibilities. When we broke apart, she whispered, Tonight, when you dream, I'll be waiting. But this time, when morning comes, I'll still remember your name. Outside, the world was waking to a new day where dreams and reality danced together, where love had rewritten the rules of existence itself. And in her eyes, I saw forever. Not the cold infinity of the dream realm, but the warm eternity of two hearts beating as one, bridging worlds with every shared breath. The end.